was China, U.S. Navy drone incident over Donald Trump's Taiwan phone call. Beijing and Washington are facing the biggest test of their relationship in years following China's controversial seizure of a U.S. Navy drone. The Pentagon says China have agreed to return of U.S. underwater drone seized by Chinese warship this week. But whether China's move was intentional or simply opportunistic, one thing remains certain. The unprecedented seizure was a brazen act. Ashley Townshend, research fellow at the United States Studies Center, University of Sydney, said it was still too early to say whether the move was in direct response to Donald Trump's Taiwan remarks. Beijing has so far provided no explanation for its actions and has not drawn any connection between the two issues, so we shouldn't rush to ascribe significance that may not be there, Mr. Townshend told news.com.au. Seizing an unclassified drone in the South China Sea would appear to be a pretty oblique way to respond to Trump's comments about the One China policy, especially without any accompanying signals. The Chinese Navy on Thursday seized the drone, which the Pentagon said was being operated by civilian contractors to conduct oceanic research. The U.S. lodged a formal diplomatic complaint, calling the incident an unlawful seizure in international waters, and demanded the drone back. China insisted the glider was seized because it wanted to ensure the safe navigation of passing ships and vowed to return it. The incident comes more than 2 weeks after U.S. President-elect Trump took a call from Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen. The controversial call saw Mr. Trump become the first president or president-elect to do so in decades in a major break from U.S. policy. While some questioned the move and Beijing said it signaled his inexperience with foreign policy, Mr. Trump remained defiant, implying he didn't need China's permission to talk to anyone. While China was measured in its response over the call, many speculated it would increase tensions between the superpowers. Mr. Townshend said it was true and fair to say that China's behavior in the South China Sea is generally not random. Chinese naval and Coast Guard vessels operate within the bounds of guidelines that are centrally dictated by officials in Beijing, he said. Any changes to established patterns of maritime behavior, like Thursday's drone incident, would normally need to be pre-approved, particularly if the new actions are likely to be provocative. However, he insisted this didn't mean all actions are deliberate, and this latest provocation could have been the result of unsanctioned behavior by overly assertive ship operators or local military. He said it could have been a failed attempt to obtain sensitive U.S. drone technology since the drone wasn't classified, or even a response to Admiral Harry Harris' South China Sea speech in Sydney last week. It could have also been a probe to test America's resolve during the presidential transition or the start of a new phase in disruptive gray zone activity. Mr. Townshend said the seizure of the drone appeared to be in contrast to Beijing's otherwise very cautious maritime behavior in the South China Sea. During the past 2 years, Beijing has deliberately avoided dangerous or provocative tactical behavior in order to minimize the risk of a U.S.-China maritime crisis, while it constructs a network of military outposts throughout the South China Sea, he said. Although the drone was not conducting a military operation, disrupting and then stealing the naval platform, which has sovereign immune status, is one of the most brazen actions that the PLA Navy has taken against U.S. Navy for a very long time. Against a background of rising tensions in the South China Sea and Trump's increasingly hawkish comments on China policy, this incident will be a serious test for U.S.-China relations. Hours after China agreed to return the unmanned underwater glider, Mr. Trump appeared to raise tensions once again, saying the U.S. should just let Beijing keep it. The incident appeared to be peacefully resolved, with some speculating that Mr. Trump's tweet would only further inflame tensions over the incident. China steals United States Navy research drone in international waters, rips it out of water, and takes it to China in unprecedented act. The drone was seized while collecting unclassified scientific data about 92 kilometers northwest of Subic Bay near the Philippines in the South China Sea, which China claims virtually in its entirety, Navy Captain Jeff Davis, a Pentagon spokesman, said. Captain Davis said it belonged to the U.S., and no one wanted to see this happen again. He said the drone costs about US $150,000 and is largely commercial, off-the-shelf technology. According to the Pentagon, as the Chinese ship left with the drone, which is about 3 meters long, its only radio response to the U.S. vessel was, "We are returning to normal operations." With AP.